All right, here we go. What is going on? I know it's been a minute since I've been on here. Been sitting back and observing. Had a lot of stuff going on lately, so that's why I've been off the net. I've been popping in a few streams here and there, trying to help brothers get their watch time. But now I got to feed the algorithm. Just punching the clock, as BGS would say. Got to do this at least once a week. So if you've been paying attention the last 2 weeks, I know this is kind of old and almost out of the algorithm, but I got to give my 2 cents on it because I'd already prepared the show. I meant to do it last week, but you know, some scheduling conflicts got in the way, working and stuff like that. So now I'm trying to make up for it. What up, bro? You said Lakers in. Nice. Yeah, happy Easter to everybody out there. Happy Easter to the brothers. If you celebrate Easter or just having a day off, hey, salute to you guys. So what I'm talking about here is what are black men really doing? And you see the description in there. It's like every so many months, somebody comes out with some stupid term, some piece of work or whatever, academic work, and trying to put that off on black men. You know, at one point they were saying we were costing the country billions of dollars by being unemployed. Like we're the only unemployed demographic in the country. All right, got it. And it seems like every time there's a problem, they look to the dark spaces in the room. They want to blame us for every single thing that goes wrong in this country. Oh, see, it's always black men's fault. We ain't got nothing to do with it. We have, hey, Kwame Kaiju, what's up? We ain't got shit to do with half the stuff that's going on in this country. We do not hold the reins of power. We are not the majority. We're not the movers and the shakers like they think, like everybody else. We are in our own right, but we're not the ones making all this shit happen. All right. Majority of these companies owned by white men. So you got a place to blame squarely on the folks who actually hold power. And Sergeant Willie Pete's been doing a lot of videos, like complete series, on what's going on with in respect to all the different genders and races and all that, is that we all have a common enemy. It's not each other, it's the people that are pulling the strings. But that's a topic for another day. But when it comes to Keisha and them, they were all over TikTok showing their entire ass about black men not going to college. And many of the brothers have already fought back, and kind of a disagreeing point that I have with Medium Man, because the way he frames things and the way he talks to us is like, you black men let these women get out here and do this. No, we didn't let them do shit. We can't stop them from parking their ass in front of a microphone and talking shit. They've been doing this for 50 years. They've been writing books, and I keep pointing out, they've been writing books. They've been in movies. They've been in television. Just recently, somebody was doing a video the other day talking about some of the movies in the 90s. I think it was like Messy Michonne. I like her channel. She's quite entertaining. And people were talking about all these toxic movies from the 90s. And every single movie that they named was blaming us. Hang on, let me pause for 1 second. Hang on, give me a second, fellas. I'll be right back. Let me be right back. Had to go open the front door real quick. Where was I? Oh yeah, the movies from the 90s painting us all these bums, these women abusers and so forth. So the narrative continues. Because even in the old school books, they did the same thing. How badly we treated folks. Hell, The Help. Anybody? The Help was written a long time ago. And books like it. Color Purple. So you fast forward to today. And now we're the stupid ones for not going to college. We're the stupid ones for not wanting to take on a bunch of debt. Putting yourself further in the hole. And as soon as I can find my TikTok here on this iPad, I'm going to show you exactly what the hell we were talking about. So you had this fool, Toure, who had been on MSNBC, CNN, I want to say too. And it's no wonder he's not on there anymore. Like a lot of these brothers, they're not on there anymore. So let's see here. Let's see, black men not going to college. And I'm making this video just to point something out real quick. And then I'm going to show why would you go to college when hang on, here we go. Let me switch to my iPad real quick. Let me know if y'all can hear that. Nope, not getting anything. Interesting. Where is my iPad here? Why is my audio not working? Bear with me, man. I'm a little rusty right now.
Decided to pick up track and cross country. Never ran it a day in my life, but I figured, hey, why not? Mind you, when you're running track and cross country, you're running throughout the entire school year. You don't get a break. I did not have a scholarship at first, which means that I did not have extra money, which means that I had a job. Not only was I a full-time student, I was also a full-time athlete, and while everybody else was dilly-dallying, I had to go to work. I also did not have a car my entire college era. My people did not pay for me to go to college, and that aunt who had me stop doing sports in high school, she also wanted me to drop out of college to watch my little brother. I don't know if black men were trying to go to Ivy League schools or D1 schools, and I'm not telling you to go to college or not to go to college, but I will say I went from a JUCO to a D2 school, and the points that y'all are making are just excuses. I have 5 siblings, 5 black brothers, and I am the only one to go and finish college out of all of them. Dad on drugs, in and out of jail. Mom on drugs, got taken away from them, placed in foster care until my aunt and uncle retrieved me. I had to stop playing sports in high school because my aunt tried to force me to watch my little brother. I said, that is not my child. I'm going to go get a job instead. When it came to college, I filled out my FAFSA. I did have to ask my aunt and uncle a couple questions, but I filled it out. I submitted it. My mom passed away a few weeks before I got to college. I did get Pell Grants because I used the income of my mom and dad of $0, but I also did have to get student loans on top of that. When I got to college, I decided to pick up track and cross country. Never ran it a day in my life, but I figured, hey, why not? Mind you, when you're running track and cross country, you're running throughout the entire school year. You don't get a break. I did not have a scholarship at first, which means that I did not have extra money, which means that I had a job. Not only was I a full-time student, I was also a full-time athlete, and while everybody else was dilly-dallying, I had to go to work. I also did not have a car my entire college era. My people did not pay for me to go to college, and that aunt who had me stop doing sports in high school, she also wanted me to drop out of college to watch my little brother. I don't know if black men were trying to go to Ivy League schools or D1 schools, and I'm not telling you to go to college or not to go to college, but I will say I went from a JUCO to a D2 school, and the points that y'all are making are just excuses. I have 5 siblings.
Interesting. That's enough of that. I almost stopped it beforehand because like her voice is like super annoying. I guess it's the way she sped it up, but even still, you can tell she has a super annoying voice. All right, so this has been the consensus from all these videos. I did it, so can you. Okay. If you've ever done a college scholarship search, grant search, you can see firsthand that there are thousands of results. You type in black woman, you'll see thousands of results. You type in black men, they steer you directly to general scholarships that everybody can apply for. Nothing for you. You could type in Asian, this, that, and the third. You could type in freaking incest. There's scholarships for that. What's up, Detroit 313? There's scholarships for just about everything you can name except black men. I used to buy this book that from Barnes and Nobles, right? I used to buy this book from Barnes and Nobles. It has like all these scholarships and stuff. A lot of them are people don't even apply for. And I was helping my kids fill those things out, apply for them. The only thing I didn't do was write the essays for them. I was like, you got to write those. If I write it, it's going to sound like a college paper and they're going to know something's up. So those ones they had to write for. And in those books, it didn't have all the whole ethnic damn scholarships in it. This was like a couple years ago, before all the DEI bullshit. Now they're all over the place up until Trump took office. So this lady right here has the benefit of getting all these scholarships. She had the benefit of getting grants and everything else just because she's a black woman, double minority. And now she want to turn around and wag her finger at black men like, hey, I did it, so can you. But you don't acknowledge the fact that you had all this help. And that's the part they won't admit. They will never admit that they've had a lot of help. A lot of help. That what was that the Fearless Fund? They've had a lot of help. They are full of shit.
We did not go to college because we was too busy trying to figure out how to pay for lunch because our
Black people obsession with doing something that they know statistically, physically, mentally.
So I keep saying we did not go.
So I have watched a number of videos
at home. We have a cultural problem within our community
right here.
Before I go out, before I continue, I will give off my credentials. I don't usually like doing this because I don't usually think it really matters, but right now I do think it matters, mainly because I saw a video that...
I don't want to waste y'all's time here. Yes! Damn it. I'm live right now. What do you need? Hang on, let me find this damn video. Hell, he might have taken the bitch down. Like, look at this dude. This dude is Toure. This is the one guy I was talking about earlier. Videos all over the place. He might have taken that one video down. Because he keeps doubling down on this shit. I know y'all saw this one already. Here we go.
My video about black men not going to college got comments all over the map. Some commenters who work in education say, yes, it's hard to get black men to see themselves as college students. I'm a high school teacher. I'm trying to help them, but a lot of my black male students are scared of college. As a high school counselor, I see this firsthand. They have become so disconnected from school despite all the interventions we try. Some of this is black males thinking they're not up to it intellectually. If they don't see black teachers, they may not see a place for themselves in academia. And they get a lot of messages from their peers that being smart and getting good grades is not cool. Studies have shown that black children have fewer friends the higher grades they have, something we don't really see among white kids. We see black students being socially punished by other students for doing the work to get good grades. And black male students are often punished faster in a school environment, leading to all of them wanting to recede. But yes, some students are making a thoughtful and principled choice to go to trade school or vocational school instead. And a lot of people in the comments defended them. I disagree. Trades are the fastest and most efficient path to middle class. I understand for some that is the right choice intellectually and financially. A lot of people said they do not want to go into debt to go to a 4-year college. But here's the thing. People tend to make significantly more money after getting a college degree than after going through vocational school. I found this chart that shows the vast difference in earnings. You can pause to read. Liberal arts college shows the vast difference.
Let me zoom in a little bit here. Software developer does not require a degree. General managers, depends on the field, does not require a degree. Hairdresser, commercial driver. Let's see. What else we got on here? I don't know where did he pull this shit from? This does not even show where he pulled this crap from. All right, but y'all get the gist of it. So what are black men really doing? Okay. We are doing a lot of different things. I know several brothers who are in HVAC. Now notice this says 50. This is inaccurate. Now what a lot of these folks will do is they'll pull up these charts, not knowing how the fields work. So that a lot of times you're an apprentice, or you go to a trade school or actual trade school, you learn the trade and you go out to work, or you go to a company, they have their own training program. You get the certifications through them to do HVAC and the license to do HVAC, and you're going to make a lot more money than this. This right here is probably starting out. All right, you got carpenters. In order to be a carpenter, you have to be an apprentice a lot of times. You got to learn the trade. This is the low end. More than half the people going into these fields made this kind of money. You can scroll through TikTok. There's a bunch of brothers who are general contractors on TikTok making way more than this. Electricians. This is what I do. This is on the low end. So what are black men really doing? This is what we're doing. We're not going into these offices and going into debt. Now, let's see here. I had this pulled up earlier. Employment wages data, degree outlook. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Nope. Let's go here. Nope, that's not it. And this is one of the things they try to use to try to punch us in the mouth with. Because you can come up here to field and degree, right? Field degree. Once you get all of your degrees going, this is pretty much set in stone. This is what you're going to be making. And a lot of these people try to sit here and put this out here. This is the median wage. More than half the people made this amount of money. But how much debt do you have? It also shows you how many people have advanced degrees. Because in order to get to the upper echelons, management and stuff like that, to make the money that you saw in that chart the dude tried to show us, you got to have an advanced degree. See, me as an electrician, all I got to do is have the certifications, the foreman's class, and years of experience, and I can move up and run a company. And I can make way more than what these other folks are doing. And these are some of the places they go in and work. So like I said, half the people made more than 60,000. And then these are all the related fields next to it. Half. So that means about 50% made less. So all these people running around talking about some six-figure this, six-figure that, you're full of crap. And for the folks that think that we're lying about what we do, let's see here. New Jersey. Central New Jersey. $45 an hour translates to $90,000 per year. The cost of living in New Jersey is 120% of the national average. That means what it costs to live, food, bills and stuff like that, which adjusts your wages down to $37 an hour. You're still making $37 an hour after taxes, right? And a lot of people don't get that. But you'll have these idiots. Oh, whoop. Straight line on folks and saying stuff like this.
Yo, Andrew Tate is a huge influence on what's going on inside classrooms, and this is absolutely horrifying.
Now, what are we doing? We're telling people the truth. I can sit here and tell you that in 4 years, you can become an electrician. Once you finish your licenses, so you can make anywhere between $30 an hour and $90 an hour, depending on where you live. On your check. That's after all your benefits are paid and all that stuff. You can live a decent life. A lot of us chose that instead of going to 4-year degrees. A lot of us chose going to the military so we can have the money to go to school. Because I know a lot of I'm not knocking school at all. No shade to anybody who goes off to college. But what I am saying is, however you get things done, it's fine by me. You got freedom of choice. It's fine, should be fine by everybody. Should be accepted by everybody. I know a lot of brothers that went to the military just to get their college money because the new GI Bill pays for damn near everything and gives you a stipend. So you go do 4 years military. You can take classes while you're in, so you can get some of the credits out the way, and it's paid for. It's free while you're in. Long as you pass the class, you ain't got to pay nothing back. You might have to buy your books, but that's about it. So tuition taken care of by active service. Yeah, you got to go to work. They're going to put some money in your pocket. You got a job to do. You may have to deploy this, that, and the third. And on a side note, you're more likely to get in a car accident than to die in combat, statistically. And with no conflicts going on right now, I mean, what are you worried about? But anyway, so them brothers take that money, roll it into college. Your first undergrad degree will be paid for by the military. That's invaluable. All you do is send in your paperwork. The government cuts them a check, takes care of everything. The only thing you really have to worry about is probably books. That's it. So a lot of brothers are smart, or they're just not going at all. Now, I've had student loan debt. I had about 10 grand worth of student loan debt. And I looked at how many years that I had left on the degree I was going for, graphic design. I said, the hell with this. Switch to something else that was going to make a decent amount of money and I can go anywhere and work. Now, you got a lot of people out here running around complaining because they can't find a job with advanced degrees. I've met a couple engineers, electrical engineers, because where they were working didn't pay as much as an electrician because our union was pretty strong. So you got dozens of people out here. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're trying to shame you into going out here, signing your name on a dotted line on some paperwork to tack on more debt so you can be just like them. And it's crazy to me. Hang on, let me pause. I gotta pause again for the calls. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I know, but I still have to set things up. I know. Yep, my bad, man. I had a phone call I had to take, couldn't miss it, but we'll pick up with this bitch.
Teachers say these red-pilled boys feel the need to come in the classroom and assert male dominance over their female teachers. They're challenging women for dominance in the classroom.
No.
We're
not gonna let you slide past that. We're not gonna let you get away with this one. Not gonna let you get away with that toupee or whatever, the toupee, whatever your name is. Nah, we're not gonna do that. What teacher did you talk to? Or did you see that in a blog post? Because I guarantee you, if that was happening, we would have heard about it by now. If that was happening, that would have hit the TikTok streets with the quickness. Because they can't wait to put brothers on blast and say something bad about us. You know this, and I know that. You lying ass dude. Where's it at? Now I've heard that in the UK they're doing that, but that's a whole different system. And if boys are challenging folks in the classroom, it's probably because they're being mistreated in the classroom. I saw one video where it was like a 20v1 of two one young man was giving his thoughts on Trump and the election and this, that, and the third. And there was a bunch of females in the classroom, to include the teacher. Everybody was against this young man expressing his opinion about how he felt about the election. These little girls were mad about abortion rights, and they're in high school. I got the video somewhere buried in my TikTok favorites. I think I downloaded it to my PC. I got to find that video. But it's crazy to me that you, as a man, don't see how the classroom settings have changed, how society has changed, how this affects young men and boys. This is why a lot of young men and boys say to hell with college. I did 12 years of this shit in high school. I'm not doing another 4 years, 4 to 8 years of post-secondary education to deal with people like this. Because you went through it and because you wanted to deal with that, that's fine. No shade to people that went and got their degree. If that's not your experience, fine. But what I've heard from some of my friends, some of the people I've dealt with, is that, man, some of these professors are super feminists. You know, they're getting, I think it affects their grades, the looks they get. It's insane. Look at what we're getting on the internet by people we don't know. It's the same way in the classroom. You're getting ridiculed by people you don't know. You're being super generalized as being stupid by not going to college. And then you got idiots like this that may or may not have graduated from college trying to tell you about Howard University and some study that was incomplete because it was talking about Howard and not across the board. And that's the generalizations that we're talking about. You take one piece of information and try to extrapolate that out to all black men. It's crazy to me.
Making it harder to actually get the job of teaching done. Teachers say a lot of these boys have a gender disdain for them even being there instead of being at home, and they are constantly challenging. So where does it come from?
The fact that the entire education system is controlled by women mostly, that there's barely any male teachers, that even I got caught some of this when I was in school. It seemed like the girls were treated better than the boys. Because they don't understand our nature. You can't expect a boy to sit down for 4 or 5 hours at a time. That may work for females, but guys can't do that. We had 2 or 3 recesses when I went to school. Yeah, 1 in the morning, and then you had 1 in the afternoon. But now they probably got 1 recess. That makes a difference. To blow off some of that steam, some of that extra energy after lunch, before lunch. Yes, boys are hyper, energetic. Not used to sitting down. We like to do things with our hands. We like to be active. That's most men. That classroom setting just simply doesn't work for us. Dr. Tierson Johnson has talked about this extensively. It doesn't work.
Their expertise. One teacher said some of the boys she teaches are like, who is this girl trying to tell me off? Who does she think she is? And they're openly dismissive of any teaching about and even by women. One of the teachers said, if we read anything by a woman, some of the boys will say, why do we have to read this myth? They say things like they think feminism means women want more than them, so it's an attack on them. You see all these ways of white males seeing black and females and trans people trying to have rights as an attack on them. Such victims. But there's a growing generation of boys who won't take women seriously in any capacity. The manosphere is ruining an entire generation of boys. Yo, Andrew Tate is a huge influence on what's going on inside classrooms, and this is absolutely horrifying.
I missed that at the beginning.
A lot of teachers.
But Andrew Tate, really? Andrew Tate? Of all people, Andrew Tate. Y'all keep going back to Andrew Tate. And why is my stream not working? So this is what we're doing. We're going all the way back to Andrew Tate yet again. And for some reason, my vertical stream is frozen. All right, cool. We'll just keep moving on. All right, let's go to another one.
So I watched that Kanye interview.
See if I can
Yo,
find it.
Andrew Tate, my video about black men not going to college. My God, sack. Wild Trump. I was on CNN. Apparently,
This is
black
the original.
men are not attending college, and this is a horrendous trend. The number of black men at four-year colleges has plummeted, and at Howard University, there
What up,
are as
Red
many
City?
non-black students as there are black men. Howard is just 19% black men. There's an array of reasons why this is happening, but the number one thing sociologists point to is something they call the belief gap, that a lot of young black men don't believe that they can or should be able to handle college intellectually or financially. Guys, college is a critical part of gaining the
Now,
intellectual
this was the one that the brothers pulled in for the live stream, the pop, the last panel show on Machismo TV. That was the original. Now, as you see, I went in backwards order. I showed the one he did after this, and I also showed the one where he started talking about the manosphere. Now, I believe that manosphere one came in about the time that CNN made their video about us and that went terribly wrong. And then you got this dude doubling down on what he said about black men not going to college. And what I was saying in the beginning of this stream was that why go to college when you got this sitting outside your door? All I got to do is give, HVAC, right? This is HVAC. Again, this is HVAC. HVAC is about 2 years. I want to say 2 years. OJT, apprenticeship, whatever, 2 years. And you can walk away and you can make this right here. Why would anybody waste their time sitting in the classroom? Exactly. Full of them damn immigrants. Crazy, right? Full of immigrants and people that don't like you. Why would you go there? So my thing is, who's the smarter one here? We've seen, what's up, Amir Mustafa? We've seen what some of these folks make. I know people that have degrees who are sitting in the office like a damn secretary. They have no shot of getting into the boardroom where the real dollars are being made. You had this dude sit here, Toure, talking about what if I told you you're going to lose $1 million over the course of your lifetime for not going to college? When the average person is making, less than 50 grand, the average person is making 50 grand and less. And they have degrees. I just showed y'all that. Somebody with a communications degree, they say half, the median was 60 grand, the median. And a lot of that has to do with who has advanced degrees. So now you got more debt to get into that 60 grand position. Then you have to be lucky enough to work for a company that's going to pay you 60 grand. Because only half the people made more than that, right? You got to be a bigwig somewhere. So you can imagine that the people making 60 grand, they're right there in the middle in that sweet spot. But you got all that debt. The people making above that are the guys in management, the people that's been there the longest. They're going to make more money, of course, right? That's how it always works. Upper management. The people below that are people who are just now getting into the field. We all know this. I'm just explaining this for the brothers and the people who were first time watching. We know this. So who's smarter? Keisha? This guy? Or you? Exactly. Skills tradesmen, you ain't got to put up with a few of these toxic feminists. Men, regardless of race, work well together. Yeah, exactly. Very few females are in the trades. Very few females are in blue collar work, which is a godsend, because with all the Me Too shit was going on, that was one of the things I thought about as I was retiring from the military. I was like, I do not want to work with another one of these damn super feminists who think they better than you because they got the same damn job. Or they think they got better qualifications. Nobody want to deal with that shit. Hell, we had a few feminist electricians, you know, some people that were on the rainbow side of the house, and they got gone. A lot of them would quit. Because if you're not going to work as hard as me, I'm going to be hard on you. And I was hard on people as an apprentice. Oh, you can't pick up that 3-inch pipe by yourself? Oh, don't worry. No problem. I'll hoist that bitch up and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I didn't pull no punches. I did my job, didn't speak to him much, and kept it moving. See, these types of jobs have a way of weeding out certain types of individuals. None of that toxicity. The only toxicity I got was some of these guys, you know, they walk around with their chest stuck out a little bit too much, you know, trying to be the rooster in the room or some shit. Head rooster. And we don't have to deal with that shit. So here you go. HVAC guy. What, two years? 6 months to 2 years? California is expensive anyway, but they're living a decent life. California is super expensive, but if you can make after the adjustment for the cost of living, it's like you're making $40 an hour, still making 80 grand, but you know, on paper you made 150. See how that works? But they're still living pretty comfortable. If you can't live comfortably off of this wage, I don't know what to tell you. $41 an hour anywhere else is an excellent wage. So let's go down here. Renton, Washington, one of the places I used to work near. $61 an hour. Pretty good for HVAC tech, right? And that industry up there is growing because now it's starting to get hotter. When I moved there years ago, none of the houses came with AC in it because it stayed cool all year long. But as you know, the years have gone by, it's gotten hotter and hotter every single year. The average during the summer was 70 degrees. It was amazing. And then all of a sudden it started creeping up to 90. Oh man, it started getting terrible. And then you had to go buy window units, and they were all scarce and stuff. Like down in the South, you could find window units everywhere. Maryland, you could find them everywhere. But up there in Washington, when the heat waves started hitting, holy shit, you couldn't find one. A window unit was costing you about $400 because people were selling them secondhand, buying them up and just selling them. $150 AC being sold for $400. That shit was nuts. Let's take a look at some more. Now there's a major difference here between your regular trade school, the one that they say that a lot of brothers can't get into, can't do the math, can't do this, that, and third. And then you have apprenticeships where you're doing, you earn while you learn. You got the ones you go to the community college, you take the class at night or whatever. You got a regular job, you take your classes at night or whenever you have classes, and you go from there. With an apprenticeship, you're actually working in the field that you're trying to become licensed in. So for an electrician, you become an electrician's apprentice, and on day one, when they bring you in there, they might send you to a boot camp class to get the safety basics and how to use certain tools. and then they send you out to the field to a company, and then you start working from there. I believe it works the same for plumbers and pipe fitters. And you can go on this website right here, unionpayscales.com, and it can link you to some of these apprenticeships for the young brothers out there, even the older brothers. It will link you to some of the apprenticeships that are available for some of these trades. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. All this stuff is competitive, okay? You can apply, it doesn't mean you're going to get in. You may get in depending on who you are, minority wise or whatever. Some states still do that, where they try to hold so many slots, or so many unions do that so that, you know, everybody can get a piece of it, right? That's the only time I think DEI has ever worked in my favor, because, you know, up there in Washington, you had to have certain projects had to have certain mixture of male, female, certain ethnic groups and stuff like that. The only place I've ever seen it work for me, where I got into a certain job just because of skin color or, you know, ethnicity, right? Only times it's ever worked. All right, so here we go. If you notice on the left, that's the local number, okay. Why is it not average of all cities? So number one, with the best like type of electrical unions, St. Louis, surprisingly. They're making $47 an hour. The cost of living is 83% of the national average, which means that the cost of living is really low compared to everywhere else in the country. And that's pretty damn good. So your $47 an hour is going to feel like $56 an hour. That's how these scales work. And that don't sound enticing. And there's not a whole lot of people. Well, also St. Louis, I want to say, is where one of the first unions was created, right? Electrical unions was created. So in St. Louis, you're making $94,000 fully licensed. Now, how it works as an apprentice, you get steps. So 40% is what the scale normally starts at, and a lot of people don't get that part. So they'll start you out at 40%, meaning you're going to make 40% of the journeyman's wage, which is what that is. 0.4 times 47 gives you your starting wage. So you're going to start at around $18, $19 an hour, which is great. 40 grand a year, great starting point. I know people that have gone to college for, you know, whatever. They're still waiting to find a job in the field that they went to find a degree for, to get a degree for. Still waiting. Meanwhile, as a young man, you come out here, 40 grand, you know, you're $18 an hour. Good. 6 months it goes up because you have the 1,000, it's either a 6 month scale or it's either 6 months or 1,000 hours. You go up a level. And then you're at 50% of the journeyman's wage, which is going to be what? $21, $22, $23 an hour. And then it goes up from there, 65, 75, 85, 95, until you're fully licensed. At least that's the way it worked in my union. So a lot of these people, they don't know, so they'll go out here on the internet and make these videos like Toure. Yep, hang on, let me catch this comment. They offer welding class training for free at Alabama Shipyard. Big advertising sign. I'm glad you brought that up. It's on screen. So if you're in the Alabama area, free welding class. See what they're really doing? Robbing people. Yeah, they're robbing people by sending people to school for all these degrees. And I don't think people understand this, okay? Supply and demand. When I went to school, they said that, hey, in order to make 50 grand a year, you had to go to college. Even though we had trade schools in our high school, they said you had to go to college to make above 50 grand. And I should have known back then that was a flat out lie, because my teacher was a master mechanic. He said, man, I make $50 an hour just to go work at Ford. And he does that. He was doing that on the side. And I didn't put piece two and two together till like I got older. Like, wait a minute, y'all some lying ass folks. So now that everybody and all they done passed them laws to where they make your student loans unforgivable, but through bankruptcy, now the cost of education went up. Now everybody can go to school. They're getting loans all over the place. The number of people who have degrees has increased. Back in the day, I was told that if you had kids, whoever did the best in school is who you sent to college, or whoever is the oldest is who you sent to college. Everybody didn't go. Everybody didn't go. So now that it became this big ass hustle, they got people going to school and going to follow their dreams, quote unquote. Now people are broke. Now they're mad. You told me I can go to school for just turning pottery, and nobody ever said anything about how much you're going to make. So you up here turning damn pots, underwater basket weaving, not making anything at all. And now you're mad. These folks going into communications degree, you can only be a journalist. You can work at one of these media companies. You can be, you can work in psychiatry, correspondence offices, but you're not making, not a whole lot of people are making over 60 grand a year. And they damn sure ain't making six figures. Because if only half the people made above 60 grand, what do you think? what do the math on that? Only about half the people, 60 grand or better. Then it tapers off as you get to the top. I don't get it. And the one thing we keep saying that y'all need to put trades back in the schools. We keep saying it. We're going to have to put some pressure on these folks to make sure it happens, because those are the things that men are good at. We have certain affinities. We got certain affinities for certain things, and that's just how we are. Most men have an affinity for work. A lot of men have affinity for working with their hands, solving problems, doing physical things, working outdoors. That's who we are. And then they told us to go against our nature, get a job working in a damn classroom. Crazy, right? It's folks making, $50 an hour to work on top of wind turbines. If you're not scared of heights. $40 an hour, 40 to $80 an hour cleaning windows off the side of high rises. That's stuff men do. We'll do the dangerous jobs if it pays well. A good friend of mine, he works in a tower crane. He's going to pull anywhere between $90 to $200 an hour just to operate a tower crane. It just depends on where you are. But that's what we do. And I didn't realize my vertical was messed up. Vertical stream was messed up. But that's just what we do. So what are black men doing? I've seen us in every single position, from pipe fitter, plumber, welders, mostly. Seen a lot of those guys making bank, and you would never know it. On one of the live streams I was that Machismo TV I was watching, it was like, who was the person asking you for money and stuff the most? People with degrees. We know in the construction world and the blue collar world, you're getting paid every Friday. Every Friday. A lot of us can go all over the country, make our dollar, especially a welder. Being a welder, are you kidding me? I wish I had found that first. They need welders all over the place. Shipyards, any coastal city that has a marina and stuff like that, you need welders. Where they have ports, rather. You need the welders. And that's what a lot of us chose to do. I chose to go into a field where I can go anywhere in the country and work. It doesn't matter if it's bumfuck Alaska. They need people up there in Alaska heavy. They're paying them guys, like, the cost of living in Alaska is not as high as you think, but they're paying those guys a pretty penny to go up there and work in that cold. I'm not doing it though. So here we go. Let's see who makes the most electricians in this country. And we're just going to sort this right quick. What the hell was that? Oh, that's my damn iPad. Stupid shit, man. No, damn it. Damn. Wait a minute. Where are we at? Why did that one disappear? Let me sort this by hourly rate. It's being stupid. So they removed Birmingham, Alabama. No surprise. No surprise. From what I've seen, the earlier, at the request of Bill Blackman, business manager of Local 130. What a bitch. See, Birmingham, I want to say, had the lowest wages of all the electricians in the country. I see it online a lot where those guys complaining about the unit, the local. And a lot of people don't want to go there. The cost of living is low, but a lot of people don't want to go there because they don't want to pay anybody anything. And you'll see that with a lot of cities that are anti-union. They don't want to pay you anything. So Kingport, Tennessee is what, $21 an hour? But the cost of living is super low. I mean, those guys go for it. It's probably mostly residential in that area. But then when you start getting up here to San Francisco, their hourly rate is $91 an hour. But after you adjust for cost of living, which, you know, they got 200, they're at 244% of the national average, brings that $91 down to $37. That is crazy. So you're basically paying these guys all this money to have them making some, like, you know, median wage everywhere else in the country. Now, the local I worked for up there in Seattle, that's what they're at right now. $73.58. Total package, meaning that this is what they pay per hour, what the contractor pays. And out of that, your 401k, vacation fund, health and welfare, and then there's a National Electrical Benefits something foundation or something like that, that everybody pays. So after all that money comes out, minus taxes, 73 an hour. I mean, you know, after they apply taxes, you know, you get your $73 an hour, then apply taxes, and you're good to go. And there you have it. So what are black men doing? We're making smart choices, what we're doing. And a lot of these folks don't like it. They don't like it. The wig wearing individuals don't like it. The soy boys don't like it. Now, I've met a lot of dudes who have degrees who don't speak like Touré and the rest of these guys. Don't talk like them at all. Don't have a problem with what we do. Because a lot of times we work hand in hand. You know who I work with? I work with the electrical engineer, an architect. I have a foreman who was in contact with the business owner and stuff like that. We work all hand in hand. So we may not be a part of the STEM fields, but we work with the guys from the STEM fields. Those guys, we're able to translate the blueprints into physical objects. So when I got to run wires or run pipes underneath a building, a future building, I got to know exactly where they are based on the survey. I got to know how to read the prints, make this pipe X amount of feet long, stub it up in this space right here. That way, when they come and lay the foundation and then they build the walls, the pipes are in the walls. There's a lot that goes into it. The engineering that has to go into it. The architecture that has to go into it. The carpentry guys, the guys putting in the metal studs or wood studs, whatever. HVAC guys, they got to know the same thing. How to manipulate the metals and turn certain pieces here and there, install the HVAC equipment. Then we come behind them and wire it up. All this stuff gets done in a sequence, and everybody got to know what the hell they're doing. But y'all want to call us stupid behind it. Y'all not as intellectual as we are because we didn't go to college. And again, no shade to the brothers that have gone to college, but I think I speak pretty well. I read pretty damn well for a person who didn't really go to college like that. I have an associate's degree, and I was damn near finished with my graphic design degree before I said, to hell with this, because this is costing me too much damn money. It's costing way too much money to go to school. By the time I would have finished, because it was a $50,000 a year school, I was using Army funding to pay for all my classes. I didn't have to pay for room and board. But once I got out, I was staring down the barrel of somewhere between 30 to 50 grand per year, minus, whatever my GI Bill before they did the new GI Bill would pay for. So all these folks sitting up here lying, talking about they make, 100 grand. There's only a handful of people that make that kind of money. They're content creators. There's some of the brothers on Machismo TV and what they do. I know what their occupations are. They're people like Contractor. The brother Contractor. He has been on the panels in a while, but Contractor. Self-employed, as his own business. Repairs, he posts a lot of videos. He repairs appliances and stuff for businesses. That's what he does. That's what he specializes in. He was an electrician as well. I just like what I do, so I'm not going to switch over. But to each his own. To each his own. So this is what black men are doing. I wish they had. See, I work in the construction trades. I wish they had transportation on here, but they don't. Like, even if you were one of these guys right here, laborers, right? That's fine too, just to get your foot in the door. Some of these guys come in here, they get the licenses to become general contractors, and then they walk away from these fields and do their own thing and start their own businesses. That's what they do. There's several brothers on TikTok, general contractors, building houses, flipping houses, killing the game. Just killing it. Matter of fact, I can show you one guy. No, wait, wrong guy, wrong thing. So I follow this one right here. This is a Keisha operating this account. This gentleman is a general contractor. Built a family compound for him and his family. This is the stuff that black men do. Matter of fact, let me go back up to the top. So it's called What You Making, Daddy. And this is a black man who's active in his daughter's lives. And this is his daughter running the account, asking him a question. He builds something. And they all have their own house on this compound, if I'm not mistaken. Built a huge ass property. What do you say about this dude? Let's see here if I can find this one project. And now he's selling his book. Let's see if I can find the damn, you got a lot of videos on here, man. And he owns several businesses, but you get the gist of it, right? If you got time, man, find that account. Like, scroll all the way to the very beginning of it, right? Matter of fact, I'm doing it ass backwards. I know what I'm doing wrong. And then it freezes.
Hey, Daddy, where are we?
Right down the street from the trailer. At my new neighbor's house, Shaquille Gooden Enterprises, who's my neighbor now.
Wow. Okay, so this is his. You didn't build this. You didn't build it.
I did not build it. He built it, and he's doing it.
Let me go back to the top, man. But yeah, dude got a whole bunch of videos. So if anybody, one of these damn Keishas, want to come up here.
Hey, Daddy, what you doing?
Playing with my grandbaby and packing his future.
If any one of these daggone Keishas want to come out here and start talking shit, just show them this account. Show them Dennis Sperlin. Show them a lot of these prominent brothers that's in this space. See, now he's on the advertising kick right now. Its count is huge right now. So they pretty much bought a whole bunch of land, built these huge houses on it from what I've seen. Damn, I need to get 2023. Shit, tripping. Let's do that. And now he's advertising a bunch of damn. Wait a minute, I'm in this wrong damn area. Shit. I was like, damn, where's shit at, man? Trying to find this damn video before I go. Because I aspired, at one point I did aspire to be like this gentleman, build my kids some stuff and stuff like that. But, you know, life doesn't work out that way, especially when you're dealing with certain type of individual. But yeah. This is what a lot of us do on here. This is the only contract I could think of on the top of my head. But he does new builds, constructions, has his own company. I'm sure he has quite a few guys that work for him. But let's see here. Carport, custom delivery, ranch driveway. See, the new thing is that people are buying land and building what they call barn dominiums. They kind of look like a barn, except they're this huge ass house or whatever. Hang on, let's see some here. Huge ass house or whatever, with a bunch of land around it. I like it. If you ever get a chance, look up barn dominiums.
Hey, this is where when you start
if you look at this fence right here,
this is your ABC,
you look at the fence,
right? If you don't know how,
this is his whole family's compound. Let me turn this down a little bit. I'm gonna let it play in the background. But yeah, this is his family's compound.
to grade, you will not
Got the
know how to
fence
finish.
going all the way around it. They got several acres of land.
Reading the book. You can't read the book if you can't spell the word. So you gotta learn your ABCs first.
Doing a nice little
You gotta
concrete
grade,
pad.
and once you learn how to grade, you will have no problem running that right there. But if you don't know how to run this here, this right here, oh boy, you ain't gonna be able to do that. No sir.
And he out there in the shoes, regular shoes.
Hey, this is
Probably got Hector on the side doing this shit.
on the person's job. This is what you do right here. This is your ABCs. See what it does? It'll ride on.
Daddy, why are you making your own concrete?
Because I can control my timeline, my own timeline. For one, it's super expensive if somebody else comes and do it. This one I'm trying to do a decorative design. And all.
Daddy, what kind of car is this? What does that mean?
You see this right here?
All right, Daddy, so you fit. What you doing, Daddy? Daddy, what are you doing? Wow, Daddy,
Hang on, let me
what
see
is
something
this?
here.
Wow, Daddy,
Family
what
ranch.
is this?
It's a nice little fancy gate. Remember I took you to the place over there, Tractor Supply? I
Yeah.
bought these cheap gates. I think they were like $129, $229. And I used this gate here as frame support.
But I'm about to close this out. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all rocking with me for a minute, just pointing out the hypocrisy and really showing I get it. You know, a lot of guys already went over the numbers. I didn't want to go over the numbers and rehash this thing out again. But I did want to just give you some examples and just showcase what we're actually doing for them individuals out there, so they can't say that we don't sit here and talk to each other and really put information out there. You seeing it? You see it firsthand right here. I showed you the website for the individuals out there. If you got any chance, you got a chance, right? And you got some nephews and stuff like that who don't know what they want to do. Start getting them out there, exposing them to some of the stuff. Drive by a couple of construction sites, ask them what they want to do. The work is hard, yeah, but you know, when you start doing the numbers and the paychecks and all that, the wages for construction workers and blue collars are only going to go up. As AI starts taking away jobs and stuff like that, there's a shortage, a shortfall in how many people we need going forward being electricians. I think it was something like, you know, a couple 100,000 electricians needed, plumbers, HVAC guys, and so forth are going to be needed by 2050 at least. See, we're already in 2025. It's going to take a while to replace all the guys that's retiring now. So get in where you fit in. You know, truck driving, all that stuff. There's a lot of people retiring, getting off the road, getting out the field, becoming consultants for, like, you know, or creating their own companies, and they need people. With all this technology, like all these data centers and all this new shit that's coming out, you need electricians. You know, guess who wires data centers? That is electricians, the guys that do all the work, all the network cabling, repairing of servers. Hell, I just turned down an offer to go work at Google or whatever because it was kind of far. I didn't want to do it. But yeah, like you have all those opportunities. Like I was going to work at a Google data center, where we would have to do shutdowns and upgrades and swapping of power sources to these servers where they can't go down. It's a lot of hot work, but hey, it pays pretty good. It pays pretty damn good. So for you guys out there looking for something, look, whatever you're doing right now, as long as you're productive, you're okay. You're doing fine. You're doing just fine. Ain't nobody worried about these folks with degrees. It's just one more thing they can use to say that you're stupid. Just say you're stupid. All right. So now here we go. Construction laborers. These are the guys that are, all you got to do is clean up. For the most part, you're cleaning up construction sites or doing like random general tasks. You don't have to go to school like that to be a general laborer. You might be cleaning up, sweeping up debris, moving materials, moving boxes or whatnot. Hell, one of the guys was during the pandemic, one of the guys, all he had to do was spray out the damn porta johns. That's all he was getting paid $35 an hour to spray out the porta johns. He had like one of them little chemical sprayers that you use to spray like pesticide or whatnot, just spraying alcohol and some type of bleach substance just to spray out the porta johns every time somebody used it. And he stood there all day, spray it, wipe it down, and then just stand there and wait for somebody else to come use the bathroom. Here we go. Red Sidman says, even though wages are lower in Alabama, good skilled tradesmen are hard to get. So overtime is almost a guarantee. And you're right. You're right. So, and you pretty much can name your own price there. Cause like I said, like a lot of guys don't want to go down there because like the lower starting wage and then the anti-union shit down there kind of killed it a little bit. But you know, I'm not saying you can't make a decent living out there. Like if you had your own truck, hell, you got to name your price tool, like doing your thing out there. But yeah, like eventually it's going to have to come up. You know, that's the one thing. Like it's the private companies that are trying to keep wages low. So on one end, you know, they're getting paid $1,500 for a project, and they're only having to shell out like $200 for labor, and it's all profit. I know how the game go, but when you got a bunch of competing offers and stuff like that, you got to pay your guys more. Oh man, if you got to pay your guys more, it's gonna start cutting to their bottom line, and that's what they don't want. But yeah, if you get your master's electrician license, get your master's electrician license to go down there, or master's license in anything, plumber, go down there, you'll be fine. And like I said, the cost of living in Alabama is super low. I remember I was looking at a house. It was like 5,000 square feet. It was over 5,000 square feet. They only wanted $250 for it. I was like, holy shit. And the only reason I didn't jump on it was because I didn't have, like back then I didn't have the license, and I didn't know whether or not I would have the employment to support it. Because back then it was still a kind of not a whole lot of money for a house compared to today. But you still had to have, the money to support a house that big, because, the bills, heating that bitch up is going to be crazy in the wintertime. But yeah, man, we gotta continue to do live streams like this. Matter of fact, check out Mike Reed. He's always doing live streams, repairing equipment. Like he comes into these places late at night or after closing. And he works on equipment, and he names his prices. They got guidelines for it, but he pretty much works on these different restaurants and equipment, doing the cleaning, the maintenance, repairs, replacement. And he makes a damn good living. I think he's out in Texas somewhere, but yeah, I've heard a lot of guys make a lot of money. All they had to do was take these little classes online to learn the equipment. Once you know what equipment you're dealing with, the major manufacturers, he would learn that equipment and then start making offers or trying to find the work or getting onto these other websites that will refer you out in order to get said work. Like I'm trying to remember the name of this one company I signed up for. I never did any work for them, but I signed up for it just to get my foot in the door, and told them to pause on my stuff because I was moving at the time, and I got to change my location on it. But yeah, you can definitely carve out a living being an independent contractor or just being a tradesman. And the thing about it, everybody don't get it. Like this little soy boy, he don't get it. He don't get it. How could you make money without a degree? Easy. The same way they built Black Wall Street. Nobody had degrees like that. You had skilled tradesmen coming out of bondage. Let that sink in for a second. I mean, what degree could you possibly had coming out of bondage to build a city? You just had skilled workers who knew how to build things and traded on labor to get materials, and we built our own stuff. So now we too bougie to get our hands dirty for some reason because they done sold y'all a different world, go to college bullshit. And when there's always a way, there's always a way. Always. But anyway, that's all I got for this one. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Red Sigma, for stopping by. And yeah, I don't mean to be offensive about the whole not making a whole lot, but yeah, like some of the lowest wages are down there in the South because they don't like unions like that. Like the highest wages are on the West Coast, but the cost of living is super high. So you got to pick what you want to do. If you get the licenses and stuff and you're from Alabama, like this guy I work with, he was from Florida. And Florida is terrible when it comes to electricians and trying to get into an apprenticeship. So what he did was he applied for the one in Washington, flew his ass up to Washington, got set, got in the apprenticeship, he got the apprenticeship program first, got set, finished his apprenticeship, moved his wife and stuff up there while he was going through the program. And then, And then from there, he moved back to Florida once he got all his licenses, his classes and stuff like that done. And now he's doing pretty good. He just don't do shit. Like I talked to him recently, $40 an hour sitting at the desk. Or anytime something breaks, he grabs his damn meter and goes out and checks it out. Making damn good money in Florida. But yeah, I'm about to get out of here. I've been on here long enough, fucking up with the live stream. I got to remember to not press certain buttons because I didn't realize my vertical side was all messed up. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. And then I'll probably come back with a part 2 on some of the other fields that's out there because I got a couple of homeboys that's into hazmat transportation, and like 1 or 2 that works in manufacturing, like with chips and stuff like that. If I can get a hold of them, I'll come back and do a part 2 for it. But anyway, man, I'll catch y'all on the next one.
My appetite, don't leave me here.